Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and I want to talk about how LEGO is transforming how I run Dungeons & Dragons, and the biggest transformation it's done so far, which is the 2 revelations. All right. So it's really incredible. So of course, it's been announced that Lego and Dungeons and Dragons are officially connected. They're officially connected through an announced project at this point, and so I've shifted over and I've started to run all of my Dungeons and Dragons using Lego, and I'm going very deep into Lego to use Lego to really get rid of the character sheet and communicate everything you need to run your Dungeons & Dragons character through physical pieces on the board with Lego, and your character sheet is really represented by your Lego minifig, which is highly customized by a personal flat that you have as a player, which has Lego pieces on it, which tell you your attributes and your skills. Right, and then your weapons are literally physically represented by the weapons your minifig hold, and also when you look at your minifig, you can tell your class. Now you're like, wait, Scott, what about your species and your background? All right, let's get all the way there. So basically, when I sit down at the start of a campaign, or anyone who sits down for a single session in my ongoing Dragonlance Shadow the Dragon Queen campaign right now. So we have regular players, and then we have guest players who will come in, and anytime you start a session 1 and you haven't played a session in the campaign, this happens. And so basically you get a minifig, and you get a 3x5 card and a pen and a set of dice, and that's everything you need, right? And the reality is, you can go an entire session and write nothing down on that 3x5 card. It's literally for notes. You don't have to write a single thing down. You can see everything you need to run your player character with the Lego minifig. So one of the things I do is I have the 12 classic classes, right? So the classic 4, and then which is Rogue, Wizard, Cleric, and Fighter. And then the other 8 that are in the 2014 Player's Handbook, right? Dungeons & Dragons 5e. And so what happens is, you sit down with the other players and you choose your minifig. And there's this one minifig with this big, ragged sword. That's your barbarian. There's another minifig that has a pointy overlapping hat. That's your wizard, right? There's another minifig who has a staff with a ruby on it. That's your warlock, right? There's a fig that has a guitar, that has a lute, like a guitar. That's your bard, right? And so you grab that and you're ready to play, period. End of sentence. So the moment you grab the bard, I hand you your flat, right? And you're heavier on your you're heavier on your mental attributes than your physical attributes, and you're ready to roll. That's it. And also you get and here's another thing. The moment you get that fig, you get proficiency in every single base skill that class has, right? And then you either have a +3 in all your mental attributes, and a +1 in all your physical, or flipped, and you have a +3 proficiency, and you can make every skill check in the game, and you're ready to roll, right? And there's not a single word has been written on your sheet. No spells have been picked or anything, right? So what spells do you have? You have access to every single spell in the spell book, right? And if it's your level or below that you're allowed to cast, then you could cast that without any ramifications. If it's your level or higher, up to 5 levels higher than your class, you could be knocked out if you roll a 1 on that spell. And if you cast a 9th level spell as a 1st level character and you roll a 1, you die, right? And there's other and basically, you sit at the table and you pick your minifig and you're ready to go. And you're like, well, wait a second. They don't pick their name, they don't name their character, and they don't choose their species. That's right. And so I say at the beginning of the game, listen, you have two revelations. You are going to reveal your name whenever you choose, and you're going to reveal your species whenever you choose. Now, actually, people who have never played Dungeons and Dragons before, they're like, oh, no problem, I'm a rogue, right? They don't even think twice about it. They don't ask any questions. They're just like, yeah, I'm going to stab that guy. It's flawless, right? Anybody who's ever played Dungeons and Dragons is like, well, what about all my bonuses from my species, right? And you're like, right now you don't have them. You're literally a rogue. We don't know what species you are, and we don't know your name, but you're ready to play right now. You're ready to make every roll, use every skill check. You can use any spell you want. And what's your equipment? It's whatever you choose, right? You don't have any, it's anything in the equipment book, and you don't have to write it down. You just tell me I have this, right? When you need it. You don't have to say it now. You're like, I pull you tell me your equipment by saying, I pull 50 feet of rope out of my backpack. You never had to write it, right? And all mundane equipment is yours to pick. You don't have to buy spell gold. You don't have to spend gold or any of that, right? And the reason why is the only thing that's really going to matter is the magic items. I don't care what mundane equipment you have. And it's transformative, and it's incredible because people who have never played Dungeons and Dragons, it meets their expectation. That Dungeons and Dragons runs very, very quickly and is exciting, right? And fast. People who have played Dungeons and Dragons before usually are like, they'll give a side eye, right? But then when the game starts running and they see how easily people have never played Dungeons and Dragons are jumping in, and the story is progressing 3 or 4 times faster than any other story they've ever played in Dungeons and Dragons, they're quite on board. That's the two revelation, the name revelation and the species revelation. And players say their names and their species when they choose. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.